Sometimes the quietest people have the loudest pasts, and sometimes the people we ignore are the ones we owe the most. This is a story about respect, about judgment, and about a man who wore a broom instead of a badge. It was an ordinary morning at Johnson's Grocery, a modest neighborhood store nestled between a barber shop and an old laundromat. The sun had just begun to rise, casting soft light over the parking lot, as locals made their way in for coffee, newspapers, and fresh bread. Inside, the air smelled faintly of cinnamon and floor polish. Mr. Thomas, a quiet, elderly black man, was already in aisle 3, gently mopping near the dairy section. He wore his usual uniform, dark blue pants, a faded gray shirt with his name stitched over the chest, and a cap that had long since lost its original shape. His steps were slow but steady. Every motion seemed deliberate, as if he respected even the floor he cleaned. He had worked there for 8 years, never once late, never once caused trouble. He nodded to every customer, remembered names, asked about families. Some returned the kindness. Most didn't. That morning, as Mr. Thomas finished cleaning a spill, a man in his 30s, dressed in a neatly pressed suit, entered the store. He greeted the cashier, picked up a basket, and walked to the produce section. A few minutes later, he reached into his jacket pocket and realized something was missing: his wallet. Unaware of this, Mr. Thomas had already spotted it on the floor, just beside the oranges. He bent down, picked it up carefully with both hands, and started walking toward the front. But just then, the store's automatic doors slid open. A young white police officer stepped in. Clean uniform, confident stride, probably fresh from the academy. He saw Mr. Thomas holding the wallet and jumped to conclusions. "Hey, what are you doing with that?" His voice cut through the quiet, like a knife. The room froze. Mr. Thomas turned slowly. "I was just bringing it to the front, sir," he said softly. The officer didn't listen. "Sure you were. What's your name?" The tension in the air was thick. Customers stopped browsing. The cashier looked nervous. "I found it near the fruit aisle," Mr. Thomas said, holding it out. "You think I'm stupid?" the officer said. "You planning to keep it quiet, huh? Thought nobody'd notice." Mr. Thomas lowered his eyes. "I was going to turn it in." "Don't play dumb with me," the officer barked. A woman whispered from aisle 2. "That's Mr. Thomas. He's been here for years." Another man said, "He's not like that." The officer dismissed them with a wave. People like to think they know someone, but you don't really know what goes on behind closed doors. Mr. Thomas stood silently. No anger, no fear, just quiet disappointment.